This is Gadget Stop 321, and in today's video, I'm going to be comparing two Hobonichi Techos. This is the Avec, and this is the English version. These are both A6 planners. The Avec is a two-book set. The first one runs from January to June, and the second from July to December. And that's 2019. Now, this is the English version. It's a full year. I used this back in 2016. Now, Hobonichi changes little things each year, but overall, the basic design stays the same. So it's useful to compare these two. The differences stay the same roughly from year to year. Now, Hobonichi, in my opinion, has struck gold with this design. The Techo, the A6 size, to me is the most versatile of all of their lineup of planners. Now, these are both Techos, so I'll just, from now on, I'll call this one the Avec and this one the English version. The Avec has a thick cardstock cover. It's got a satiny finish, looks like paper. The binding is taped and sewn. On the English version, it looks almost like a leather. It's got a texture to it, but I don't know if it's exactly, but it's roughly the same thickness of cardstock cover. It's a good, durable, but yet still flexible cover. And it's not taped per se, but you can see the sewn binding. Now, one of the, if not the shining feature of both of these planners is the Tomoe River paper, the super thin paper, which allows you to have so much paper in such a small footprint. That just makes these so useful. The standard planner has an entire year, so you have a monthly layout, a layout for each month, and then an entire page for each day. So you've got a lot of room in these two really small size planners. Now, in the Avec, it starts out with these monthly pages where you have a line for each day. These are good to use maybe for an index. I've never found a really good use for them, but I can see where if you were using this as a notebook, you could use this as an index. And the standard version, the English version, has the same thing. I was using it as for marking birthdays and stuff, but I never really used it. I think it would be better, a more useful, in my case, as a index. The next comes the monthly pages on each. And I'm using my 2019 as a health tracker, so I keep monthly averages here. I started out using this as a planner in 2016, so I got a lot of use out of the monthly pages. After the monthly pages, let's see, at the very beginning, before January starts, you've got 2 pages per day. Let me see. I don't think this one had the 2 pages per day. It starts right on January 1st. Okay, this one had the 2 pages per day, and I used it for making lists. I went back and just used it for stuff I wanted to make lists of. But then when you got to January, I was using it as a planner, and this makes such an awesome planner. I used it almost like well, I didn't use it as a bullet journal per se, but I like to make a list of my to-dos, anything I had scheduled, and then any leftover room on the page, I would, journal a little something. On my daily pages here, I'm going to use it for recording health and fitness information. And today, I did walk on the treadmill. So having the dated pages kind of helps motivate me to use it each day. Let's see. Now, you've got 2 pages, or you've got a page for each day on both of these. This thin, awesome paper, one of the things I really like about it is the small grids. I'm a graph paper person. I'm a math teacher, and I love graph paper. It's versatile. You can write on it horizontally. You can write it vertically if you want to. And in my health journal, I'm writing, let me see, on most of the information, I'm using 2 lines because I'm using a stub nib pen. So if you write big or you write with a broad pen, this grid is small enough that you can use 2 lines per line of writing, and it doesn't, look, giant or anything. It still looks good. I also like to write pretty small. So when I'm using a pencil, I would write 1 line, 1 box per line of print. And I like how that ends up looking. You can get a lot of information on the page. And so these daily pages, you can use it as a planner. You can use it as a journal. You can use it as a tracker of information. If you're learning something and you want to motivate yourself to work on it a little bit every day, these dated pages, would hopefully motivate you to, fill them up. Let's see. The things I wanted to mention was critical information in this planner is in English, but everything else is in Japanese. Since this is an original, it's almost everything's in Japanese. On the monthly pages, your days and months are written in English and Japanese. Now on the English journal, your little quotes at the bottom are in English. One of the things I wasn't as fond of in this planner was the blank space up here. Now, I would write stuff up there if I, needed the room. But one of the things I like about the Japanese planner are these little check boxes up at the top. I just like having that extra space, marked out as usable. So, let's see. At the end, there's reference pages. That's all in Japanese. Some little worksheet pages. And since it's in Japanese, I don't know what it's supposed to be used for, but you could use it for anything you wanted to. And at the end, there is 1 graph paper note page. That's at the end of the January to June. Now, I just checked on the July to December. It also starts out with, I'll just call these index pages for each month, and it starts with July. Then you have your monthly pages again, going from July to December. Actually, yeah. Let me see if it stops. It goes into January. You get an extra month for some forward planning. And let's see. You start with July, the first day of July. At the end, some more reference pages. More reference pages. And more of those worksheets that you could use for any purpose. But there's no note page at the end. Now, on the English version, these reference pages are in English, if that's something you're interested in. And then there's some dot grid at the end, a few pages, and I journaled on some of them. There. That's a decent amount of note paper at the end. And so, what I love about this A6 size is you have so many options. You can write big, you can write little. It'll work for either one of those styles. You can use it as a planner, or as a notebook, or as a journal. I used this one as a planner for about half of the book, and then as a journal for the other half. For this one, I've started using it as a health tracker. And my plan is to develop some habits so that I don't need this anymore. And then, actually, for the first half. In this one, I'm using it as a tracker. And once I've got some good habits built in, then in July, I want to start using this maybe for something else. Now, when I got the English journal, I got this canvas cover to go with it. And this chunky little book just fit in there so nicely. It's got a double pen loop. You can either use it for 2 pens or stick 1 pen in both of them to hold it closed. Just a clever design. Everything about this planner is cleverly thought out, clever and well thought out. Lots of pockets, and it just fits in there so nicely. Now, I wondered how these little thin Avec notebooks would fit. I thought they may just get lost in there. Now it's got the cover that you can tuck it in, but I just want to show you what it looks like. That makes a nice setup. It looks like it was designed to fit this size of planner. So if you have one of the covers, or you're interested in getting a cover, they work very nicely for this. If for some reason you would want to put both of them in there, it will fit just like the full year does. So I'm looking forward to using this, and just an awesome company, awesome planners and notebooks. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.